What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to Some Dungeon Defenders 2 and another Onslaught run with no Ancient Power, no Gilded Shards, and no 10 of 10 mods. So as we see, I am on my alt account here in floor number 84, the Lost Temple. Gonna do a quick run through all my heroes. I am going to be using the Nuke Monk. Main thing here, Frostfire Remnants, Grave Infection. Banjaxed is an optional third mod on that weapon, but the power of Frostfire Remnants and Grave Infection make my mix and match Nuke Monk set here still extremely powerful. And they're going to be going with some Skyguard towers with defense range, controller servo, and anti-support servo, using defense rate, destruction, and deadly strikes. I'm going to have some lightning strike auras with melee boom, defense rate, and anti-melee, destruction, defense rate, and vampiric there. Flame auras with power servo, defense rate servo, and melee boom, deadly strikes, mass destruction, and defense rate. We're going to use some weapon mans with shocking revelations, water servo, defense range servo, whoops, and an unequipped relic. Then we're going to go with vicious, defense rate, and deadly. So yeah, I'm triple stacking range on the weapon mans, and that is giving me a lot of the power in this build. And then we could possibly throw in some harpoons, piercer servo, defense rate servo, and critical servo on those ballistas with defense rate, destruction, and splody harpoon. And then potentially a poison dart tower or two with storm servo, power servo, defense rate servo, with explosive poison, defense rate, and destruction. Now, none of these mods are best in slot, kind of going with what I got. And let's see if I'm still able to get the job done. What do we have going right here? See, let's just start off right here. We got some EMP Dargans. We have a Geohex Zerker Thrower lane over there. So let's go ahead and throw a Skyguard there for the flyers. We do want to get a little crowd control on them, though. Only 19 mobs in that lane, so no reason to stack that lane up too heavily. And then, let's see, we've got Bullet Sponge and Longshot. And I do have Piercer Servo on my ballistas, of course, so that will make the Bullet Sponge and the Geodes kind of a non-issue. So let's just shoot them right in the face here. And then let's get some backup back here as kind of a last resort, just in case anything is able to sneak on through. Now moving right along, what do we have over here? We got some EMP Stabbies up top, and they are armored. And then we've got a Winter is Here lane. We got the Frosties. Frosty Liciousness. No doubt. Alright, so I tell you what, let's go. We're armored, so the Skyguards are going to hit a little bit harder than normal. Let's still get some crowd control up there. So I'm going to split a weapon manufacturer. And let's go with one node up top here, and then two nodes on the bottom on this Frost lane. I am going to stretch those Frost lane nodes back as far as I can. Now, Frost mobs equals fire damage. Fire damage is going to be for the win against Frost mobs, as fire is going to do increased damage against those Frosties. And let me see, do I have any anti-frost? Let me look. I actually do. I have an anti-frost Fisher with range, rate, and anti-frost. Deadly strikes, destruction, and defense rate. Let's go ahead and get a Fisher in the mix as well to just get a little bit more fire damage going. Let's put it right up front. Now we got a whole lot of fire going on here, and hopefully this is able to get the job done. I think I will probably end up fighting in this lane just to be safe. Let's see. We got Mob Gallery over here. Now Mob Gallery, of course, is going to change every single wave. Or it could change every single wave. 124 mobs. My general rule on the Weapon Man nodes, and you know, not something you have to live by, of course, but if it's got less than 100 enemies, I'll use one node. More than 100 enemies, I'll use two. And rarely, to be honest, will I ever use three, but periodically, if it's a really heavy lane and I've got massive DU, I could potentially put a third down. And I think just maybe some ballistas in the back just to clean this pack out will probably get the job done. Let's see, let's throw one there. We'll put another one back over here. Alright, let's see what else we've got. We do have a middle lane here. Looks like it's going to be Omega Squad Theta Spellbreaker with Geodes, Lady Orcs, all the hotness. Let's go ahead and get just one Weapon Man node right here, and then we'll follow that up. Since we've got that Spellbreaker, it makes the ballistas just a complete natural, and I'm going to put 3 of them there just because I want to ignore that lane. Now over here we got Stabby Zappers with Soft Spot. I believe just one Skyguard should take care of those guys. And then we've got Omega Squad Delta down below. A whole bunch of shieldies. We've got some Cyborgs in the mix here. Only 49 mobs though. I'm really thinking this might be another just really good Ballista / Weapon Man lane. Let's go ahead and throw it down here. Go 2 Ballistas, 1 Weapon Manufacturer node. And you know what? Just for a little icing on the cake, let's get a Poison Dart Tower in there as well. And that is also going to help me out against those flyers if anything does kind of peek on through. Alright, then we've got a double flyer lane here. EMP Chemis, EMP Zappers. So we got double EMPs. We got Pilot on, so they want conditions. Let's see, let's go with two Skyguards there. I think maybe, since we got the Pilot on, let's get a Weapon Manufacturer node right up top. And that should help crowd control those guys enough where the Skyguards can get the job done. See, down below here we got Sparks and Shields. Now, anytime you've got a lane over here, the first thing I always do is check to see if there's a core here. And as we see, there is, of course. So there's actually a decent chance that mobs are going to run the wrong path. Although they're supposed to go this way, there's a chance they could come this way. So I do want to just provide some kind of protection just in case that happens. Let's see, there's 18 Cyborgs there. It kind of makes me want to just really go heavy on Poison Dart Towers and Ballistas over here. And it's got 95 mobs. That's a pretty decent mob count. Let's go ahead and go with... We'll put 1 this way. And then we'll go 2 over here. Now, if I had a slow setup, I would get a slow in there. Either a Boostar slow or like a Frostbite Tower. However, on my alt here, I don't really have any good viable slows. So I'm going to go without crowd control in this lane, which I just absolutely hate doing. Let's see. We've got, what, 3 lanes left, and we've got 490 DU. We've got 1 double lane. I hope that's a double lane anyway. Oh, it's not. It's 2 separate lanes with 1 each. Well, that's alright. We've got Game Ogre here. Now, although my Lightning Strike auras are not the most ideal setup for a Game Ogre or boss lane, it does have the anti-melee on there, which is going to help. So I think what I'll do here is just kind of go a little bit ham with some Lightning Strike auras. Let's throw 1 more up front here. Now that's leaving me 330 left for the 2 lanes. I've got Cyfrost Whompers here. We got a whole lot of little Gobus. And I think the answer to them, even with those Cyborgs in the mix, is going to be just to drown them out with massive amounts of fire. So let's get that fire damage going. Let's go 2... Let's not put it up there, though. Let's go 2 Flame Auras. And then let's get those Anti-Frost Fissures back out as well. And then we'll go with 2 Fissures here as well up front. And hopefully that is going to get it done. We got Omega Squad Gamma down below, which is actually a pretty easy lane. And it's a good thing because I've only got 150 DU left. Luckily, that is a light lane with just 43 mobs, or 45 mobs, and no real heavy counters in that lane. So I think here it would be pretty easy just to go with a Lightning Strike and 2 Flame Auras. Now, when you're using these Weapon Man stuns, always make sure that you have your Flame Aura, or whatever your damaging defense is, hitting outside of the Weapon Man range. If we look, the Weapon Mans are going right up to about the ring of that Lightning Strike Aura. So that's about perfect. The Flame Auras and the Lightning Strike Aura should be hitting the mobs prior to them getting crowd controlled up. So let's see. I got mixed emotions here. Do I want to fight on the Winter's Here lane? Or do I want to fight over here where I have no crowd control? I think the Winter's Here lane... Man, it's got a lot of defenses there. Let's just kind of feel it out and see how it goes. Always try to pick your strongest lane and fight from there. And I'm thinking... Or, pardon me, always pick your weakest lane and fight from there. I'm thinking this is actually going to be the weakest lane here. So let's get as much damage as we can going here. Ooh, I am getting chewed up. Get a little healing action going here. That Frostfire Remnant's really saving the day over here, which is kind of nice. And since all I had was those Lightning Strike auras, I do want to keep an eye on that Game Ogre lane, particularly here in Wave 1. It actually looks like this lane is holding strong. Let's get one more Frostfire proc here. There we go. And I think we'll probably be able to leave this one alone. It actually appears that the mobs are pathing the correct way over there, at least so far. So let's hope they continue to do that. We're looking good up top. It looks like the Frost lane is kind of no problem. It appears actually that I've got the weapon manufacturers a little bit too far forward. And that means, of course, that the mobs are getting stunned and they're not necessarily getting a whole lot of damage applied to them. Which, you know, is fine. It'll get the job done, but it just makes for a really slow running map if you do that. We're looking good, though. Only 3 mobs left. Make that 2. And there we go. Now let's take a look and see what opens up here. What do we got? We got something back this way. It looks like up top, throwers and healers. And it appears they got long shot on them. So, see, we got no cyborgs in the mix. So let's get a little bit of crowd control down. And then, you know what? Let's just go with, I've got 150 left. Actually, it doesn't allow me 2 ballistas and a poison dart tower, but it will allow me 2 ballistas and, say, a flame aura. Now, the flame aura is not going to get a huge benefit, of course, because of that long shot, but it's a little upfront damage, so let's just make it happen. And then 1400 DU left. Now, I do want to throw some upgrades on this Game Ogre lane, as this lane is only going to get tougher. So let's definitely get these Lightning Strike auras jacked up, where they're really dishing out the power. And then from there, let's just kind of spam some upgrades around. I think we're looking pretty good for the most part. I'm a little concerned about this lane too, and this lane can be tricky to get down to if you're not already watching it. So you definitely want to make sure you don't have any issues over here unless you plan on hanging out down here. The problem is once you get down here, there's limited ways back out. You know, you can go through under the tunnel or just jump across here, jump across there, or go up the little ramp over there, which does give you limited access if you need to get to another lane really, really quickly. Let's see, let's throw the last of it over here. And you know what? Let's get a little bit up top too, since we have so much leftover DU. Or mana, pardon me. And let's go ahead and check it out from there. Now, everything is actually looking really, really strong right now. I do think that this is the place to be here still, particularly with no upgrades on that lane. Definitely going to want to watch it. And then, you know, obviously the mini-map saves the day. Although it's tough to get too much of a read off the mini-map. It does look like they're doing a little push on that water lane. You can take a look. You know, it looks like that may have just been a little deceiving. Nothing's really making it out too far. Big Frost Orc push is what it was. The Game Ogre lane is looking really good. It looks like we got a Drakenlord here. Let's definitely dish out the pain here. There we go. 30 mobs left. Should be a big GG here on this one. But we will see. It is not over yet. This map, you can never be too confident on this map because there's just lots and lots of things that can go wrong. Alright, let's see what we get this wave. A pretty smooth run so far, so I think we will jump on forward and do wave 5 and 6. But let's check out what we got here first. Looks like we've got a controlled burn Omega Squad Zeta lane, and it appears they're going to take this path down, which is actually kind of a little bit of a gift. 16 cyborgs in that lane. Wow, lots of cyborgs. Now we do have that controlled burn, so let's, first things first, let's get upfront poison, let's get last resort poison to make sure we've got all of that covered. So we've got poison there. Let's go ahead and throw some poison here as well. And then with 120 DU left, what do we want to do? You know, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll turn this into a 3-noder. So let's move this node out a little bit. We'll keep that one where it was. And then let's get one last resort node down here. That's going to leave me 90 more. So with 90 more, let's go with one ballista and one flame aura. Now there's a strong chance, of course, that flame aura will get stunned, as there is quite a few cyborgs coming out. But I'm going to hope that the rest of this stuff is taking care of business. Let's go ahead and throw some upgrades around. Let's just jack this whole area up a bit. Looking pretty solid for sure. And then for my last 350 mana, I'm going to come back down to this lane I've been watching, as not only is this the lane to be at again, but it's also a boss lane. You see we've got a cannon ogre coming out on this next wave, so a few upgrades are going to go a long way, that is for sure. And let's just go ahead and jump on forward to wave number 5, and then we'll do wave 5 and that Omega wave to get this map all rounded out. And we are back in wave number 5, and pretty smooth run altogether. Basically what I've done so far is I just jacked up all the mana into that lane down there, and as you see we've got another boss. This time it's going to be Malthius, and we've got a Thork coming out of that lane, so I'm probably going to want to watch that lane again. However, as we know, we got a new lane opening up. Now, I did save a little bit of DU on the last wave opening, so I didn't have to spend a whole ton, and it looks like we are right down here. And we're going to have, well, we got Omega Squad Gamma and Omega Squad Beta now. These guys are phased. To be honest with you, I don't think I really need to do much to this lane. So what I'm going to do for this lane is just kind of prep it for the next wave. We all know that the answer to Omega waves and the answer to killing mini-bosses in general is hard-hitting single-target defenses. So the more hard-hitting single-target defenses you have down, the better off you're going to be. We are just jacking it all up with Lightning Strike auras out the wazoo here. And you know what? Just to close the deal, let's go with, what, a Poison Dart Tower, say, here. And another Poison Dart Tower there. That's going to give me a little bit extra power. Let's get those guys jacked up. And do we want to do anything else? I think we can actually save the remaining 140 for the Omega Wave, and that will allow us to really spam it up with the Lightning Strike auras. So let's just go ahead and get this lane kind of jacked up. I mean, I'm thinking this lane is good for the Omega Wave already. And then I've got what? I've only got 197 left. Let's see if there's any loose mana laying around here. There's a little pile. That gets me to 300, so that will allow me to put a couple more upgrades in over here. As, you know, 2 bosses coming out. I want to take this lane seriously for sure. And that should help me out quite a bit. Now, I'm going to fight this lane over here. And, of course, I do have a lot of assassins coming. I don't want to die to the assassins. So I'm going to try to keep a Frostfire proc going the entire time. Now, by keeping a Frostfire proc going the entire time, is going to give me a way to deal with the assassins just running into the Frostfire when the assassins get on me. So let's go ahead and check it out and see how it goes here. Let's just try to keep that Frostfire going this whole time if possible. Of course, a Geode's going to come and mess up my whole mojo there, but that's alright. We still got it going. And here's Thork. Thork is down now. Now we see we got the assassin. Let's go right over, and actually the electrocute took it off. Good little Dragolich. Good little Dragolich. Or it could have been my Beacon of the Storm bouncing around. It was one of the two for sure. Just going to keep that Frostfire here though. Now I do want to not ignore the Ogre lanes. As you see, some of the Ogres are coming out a little healthier now. So since they're getting a little healthier, I figure it's probably best to pay attention to that mini-map and make sure we don't have any major issues. Now we do have Malthius. There we go, Malthius down. We've got another Malthius as well. Looks like the other Malthius is going to be on the water lane. Oh, you know what? It was the PDT. I forgot the PDTs on this account have storm damage on them. And it looks like we've actually got a Malthius kind of stuck up in the mess over there. Lots of mobs coming out in a very, very tight lane, so many jammed up enemies in the mix right here. Come on now, little Malthius, just get it over with. There we go. Malthius down. We've got, we still got a few mobs jammed up in there, and it looks like we got a roadblock up top here too. They're trying to push out, but certainly a little roadblock there for sure. Nothing some Frostfire Remnants can't resolve. And then it looks like we've got one more assassin. And then it is off to the Omega Wave. Alright, now Omega Wave's here. I actually got the question on stream today. What am I supposed to do? There's like 60 bosses. Well, I mean, obviously 60 is a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's a lot of them. First thing you do when an Omega Wave gets here is get rid of your flyer defense. Now, of course, I've got a weapon manufacturer node up there, and you guys all know I'm way too lazy to rebuild that weapon, man, so it's staying. But I'm going to go through and take out the rest of the flyer defense on the map and free up as much DU as I can. And then I think I've got one more over here. Now, step 2 on an Omega Wave would be to get rid of AoE defenses that are AoE but don't hit very hard. So let's see what we've got. Let's just start right here. We'll work our way around the map. Okay, here we've got it pretty straightforward. We've just got 3 Ogres coming out. Ogres, of course, are a melee mob. Now, ideally, you're going to want a single target hard-hitting defense, like Lightning Strike Auras, Cannonball Towers, anything that's hits hard and is single target with anti-mods. Now, I don't have a full array of anti-mods, obviously, on my LSAs. All I have is anti-melee, but you got to go with what you got. This is what I've got, so I'm going to do the best I can to make it work here. And let's get an upgrade on all of those. Now, it's even debatable on these ballistas. Ballistas are nice. Ballistas hit hard. As you see, it's attacking for 1.97 million damage. However, something that's attacking for 1.97 million damage is not necessarily something that's absolutely spectacular when a mob has 120 million, 140 million health. Alright, what do we've got here? We've got the Bastille Master here. Now, we know the Bastille Master is going to wreck all of this stuff. So what do? Well, we got to make sure that that girl dies quick. So let's get a little spawn camp of Lightning Strike Auras going here. The Bastille Master will not affect the Lightning Strike Auras. Do we want another? You know what? Let's go 2 more. 2 more just for good measure. I think that is going to get the job done. And you know what? I could free up. Let me sell those 2 just to free up a little something on that side. Now, I didn't hit this middle lane yet. The middle lane here, we've got what? We've got some Nash Lady Orcs. We've got Geodes. And then we've got the Hex Throwers. Now, we've got Controlled Burn, so I want to leave that poison on there. And then we've got Spellbreaker, so I want to leave those ballistas there. However, I'm going to add to it. So I'm going to get those Lightning Strike auras up in the mix anyway, as it's kind of one of those situations, the more the merrier. You could legitimately sell all of your defenses and keep your crowd control plus Lightning Strike auras and have a really good chance at winning the map. Now here we've got Hex Throwers, however they are long shot Hex Throwers, which are ranged mobs, plus they're Chaos mobs. So I don't have anti-Chaos or anti-range on these LSAs, but I'm going to use them anyway because it's still the best thing I have in this situation. Now I will throw an extra up on each of those ballistas just to be safe. See here, we've got the regular game Ogre Lane, and we've got the LSAs all jacked up here already, so I think we're good here. Here, we're going to have 3 Yetis, and we need more Lightning Strike auras for these Yetis. Now, the Yetis are going to take the increased damage from being a frost enemy, from the fire. However, the Fissures and the Flame auras are not hard-hitting defenses. We want defenses that are going to do that single target damage that's just going to wreck it. Now, we've already got this lane all jacked with the Lightning Strike auras. What do we have coming out? We got Thork, and we've got some Shieldies. I'm going to want to keep an eye on that lane, but I think we're solid there. Over here, we've got Cannon Ogres. Now, one of the easiest things you can do with Cannon Ogres is just give them a target to shoot at. So I'm going to throw just a completely ungeared Reflect Beam up somewhere. What do I want to do? Let's get rid of one of those ballistas. You know what? Let's just cover our butt and we'll throw it right here on the core. So there we've got an ungeared Reflect Beam on the core. And we've got Thork over here. So let's load it up with those Lightning Strike auras. Now, of course, Thork is going to disable these LSAs. So I think I might actually just fight over here in this lane. Or let's get all this stuff jacked up to the roof. It's pretty much at the roof. What do we have here? Here we're going to have that big mob gallery lane. So lots of enemies. We got winners here, so even more Yetis. Man, I just ran out of Lightning Strike auras, didn't I? Tell you what, let's get rid of 2 of these. And that's going to allow 3 Lightning Strike auras, which will be a nice little bit of pain. And then that mob gallery lane I'm going to want to keep an eye on as well. And I think the answer to it is going to be to get rid of 1 of those ballistas. That's going to leave me 60. So let's go 3 Lightning Strike auras. Once again, there's a good chance these LSAs will get disabled as, you know, it's mob gallery. So we've got the full enchilada, which includes a Thork. So I'm going to hope Thork gets wrecked really, really quick. Now, the next thing about Omega Waves is it's all about just watching the mini-map. If you see any single mob make it past or to the end of your line of defenses, you just need to get there right away. Now, any areas that I would be concerned about, I think really it's probably that mob gallery and Yeti lane. This Cannonball Ogre lane could potentially cause some problems. So I think what I will do is be here where I can quickly respond to that mob gallery lane and do my best to damage these Cannon Ogres from right here. So let's go ahead and try it out and see what kind of results we get. Let's just keep the damage going on these Cannon Ogres. They're gonna blow up some stuff, there's no doubt. There's 1 Cannon Ogre. Okay, if we see the mob gallery lane is making a push. Oh, jeez, died right before it got there. There's only 1 Cannon Ogre left. I think we are good on the Cannon Ogre situation. We got a Yeti making a push too. Let's get some damage on the Yetis, and that is Thork. Thork did indeed get uppity on my LSAs, and that is exactly what I did not want to happen. So let's get Thork handled. We've got another Yeti down. And looks like all we've got left is the rest of that mob gallery lane. So I'm going to sit here and wait for Skarnash. Nash is making a little push too. Get the hurt on Nash and then just waiting for Skarnash to come out. Actually, Skarnash we can just deal with right here. Come on out, little Skarnash. It'll be alright. Lightning Strike R's for the win. Cannonballs. I can't speak highly enough about cannonballs against Game Ogre Lane, or pardon me, against Omega Waves. They're just really, really strong. But anything at all that hits hard, that only hits one target, remember it's all bosses, so there's not a whole lot of trash mobs you need to clear out. You don't have to go big on a bunch of AoE defenses. Looks like I can't get Skarnash down here. Let's... Ooh, alright, there we go. So Skarnash finally down, and we get the win on the Lost Temple. Floor 84. So, not too bad. No Ancient Power, no 10 of 10 mods, and no Gilded Shards, and still able to get the job done. Like I said, it's all about just putting the right defenses for the enemies. Now, this particular map, it's about the Omega Wave. You know, you can easily lose the Omega Wave if you're not 100% prepared for it. In my situation, the best defense I had for it is those lightning strikes. So I'm just not going to hesitate to throw those guys around everywhere. Now that will do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below anything you'd like to see in Dungeon Defenders 2. Of course, I'm going to be redoing all of the hero spotlights and defense spotlights as soon as we get more info on that poison mod. However, I just don't want to jump the gun too far into the future when we don't know exactly what the update is going to bring. However, that will do it for this time, so thanks again, and I will see you soon. Take it easy.